Peace, everyone. How y'all doing? Welcome to Israel Doctrines Google Hangout. I'm your host, not your co-host. I'm your host, Carl Labber Davis. And the show's title for the day is The Berean Preterist Let's Speak. I'm asking this gentleman to speak. He actually has a name that Richard Carhart. I believe that's how you say it. I will have a computer read it to verify or disverify his true name.
Richard Eckhart.
Richard Eckhart, type of name I never really would speak, but I want to honor the man by calling him by his name and Berean Preterist and everything else that he would like to be acknowledged as. I don't want to downgrade the man, none of the sorts. I want to speak to the brother. So I'm gonna explain who I am a little bit. My name is Carl Labber Davis. I'm from Parkin, Arkansas, and Chicago, Illinois. Now, in Chicago, Illinois, I used to deal with a Hebrew Israelite, probably what you would call a cult, and some Hebrew Israelites was learning preterism. They brought it into the Hebrew Israelite cult and messed up the cult because the cult was unaware of full preterism. Preterism. Into these terms. These terms are European terms used by Max King and his cultist group, which started in the 70s. I understand and I know this. So after that, I ran into William Bell on Debate Talk for You, Digital Pit Boss. And I set up a debate. We had a 2-day debate. It was a great debate. I was trying to teach him something, but we all know that he's a student of Max King and this and that, and they believe what they believe. I can't push nothing down nobody's throat, but I believe I'm a reasonable person, and I won't have reasonable conversation with you about that you're talking about. Now, it's no problem. I could play your videos and still deal with what you're talking about. I don't need you if you don't want to talk to me. But as a brother in the body of Christ, which we should be, I say that I deal with the body of Christ and you claim to deal with the body of Christ. We should be able to sit down and talk with no problem. I don't look to disrespect, just something to grow on because I believe you do have knowledge of stuff, but you lack knowledge on certain things that you refuse, if you refuse to speak to me, to learn about. Now, at your posts in your eschatology groups that you in, and a couple of them, I thought you was just shooting at me, but I see you was speaking on other people too. But what is covenant eschatology? I was asking the guy that you got a problem with, Don K. Preston, William Bell. Covenant eschatology, the term covenant defines a lot what you have to deal with. In you being a slight Roman Christian yourself, you're trying to get rid of everything that not the covenant. You're trying to get rid of everything that's not the covenant, and you're trying to bring stuff into the conversation that's not the covenant. As I said on one of the posts, you refuse to use the proper terminology when you defining things. I listened to you and dealt with the fact that you was talking about how people. 1 second. Who is it? 1 second, y'all. Now, I'm having a show tonight speaking to another brother who considered himself a full preterist. And I think he lacked knowledge of what the covenant is. I think all of y'all lack knowledge of what the covenant is. And we should sit down and talk about it, because I just put a post-it that the old covenant had the law of Moses, which y'all love to call the law of Moses. I call it the law of Jesus Christ. The law of Moses, which was written in the book by his own hands, and the Ten Commandments were written on stones by the very finger of God. Now, can we agree or disagree on this? That God wrote his covenant on tables of stone. And if you know what's written on the table of stones, you know what the covenant is. It is the Ten Commandments, to be exact. And your eschatology has to be built off the Ten Commandments, or you're not dealing with covenant eschatology. Or if you say you're dealing with covenant eschatology, then be specific about which covenant it is. Because you can talk about the rainbow, and you can be with the rainbow bright children if you want to, because he made a covenant with the world with the rainbow. But that ain't the covenant. That's the old covenant that he's talking about. He's going to make new in the new covenant. So be precise with your language and what you're talking about, because you play with words just like everyone else plays with words. But all that playing stop when you're talking to a person and they're demanding you define what it is you're talking about. Because a covenant could be plenty of covenants. Plenty of them was made with people in the Old Testament. But the truth of the matter is that the old covenant was made with Israel, and the new covenant also made with Israel. So I see y'all like to argue with the Israel only people. What did you have to say about that? If you want to speak, brother, I'm willing to speak to you. I'm not a coward like the ones you reach out to and run from you. I'm actually running to you. But that's the show. Hopefully, Berean Preterist, you'll speak. If not, I understand. But don't be critical of Don Preston and William Bell them when you're afraid to stand on what you believe in. With that, I'm going to say peace.